Vinaya, meaning discipline. The Vinaya is a set of rules that is believed to have been passed down from Buddha. This set of rules is known as the Vinaya Pitaka, which provides strict regulations that monks are required to obey. In specific, monks are required to follow 227 rules of discipline, while nuns follow 311. Many of the 227 precepts or rules of conduct that monks are required to follow deal with their relations with the opposite sex. As an example, women are forbidden to touch monks and should not stay in a room alone with one. Additionally, in order for a woman who wishes to make an offering to a monk, other than food, is required to pass the offering through a third medium such as a cloth. Keeping in mind this rule, monks usually tend to carry a spare cloth for this purpose. The procedure for a woman to make an offering is that a monk will lay the piece of cloth on the ground or table while holding one end of it, and once the woman places the offering on the cloth, the monk draws it toward him. Monks are required to follow certain monastic codes and carry out daily temple chores. Meanwhile, they are also required to wake up early to start their daily Buddhist rituals and routines. A typical day of a Thai Buddhist monk begins before sunrise at 4 a.m. At this time, the monks wake up and meditate for 1 hour, then chant for another hour. Next, the monks begin their morning alms round at 6 a.m. Morning alms round give lay devotees the chance to make merit. It is the people's responsibility to watch over the monks and ensure that they have the necessary items in order to survive. During the alms round, monks walk barefoot around the neighborhood while the local people make merit by offering the monks food. Each monk carries an alms bowl in which the food is placed. At 8 a.m., the monks return from the alms round and sort through the food that has been offered. After choosing what they would like to eat, the monks sit down together and eat. Before noon, the monks are able to eat a light lunch that contains solid food. This is the last meal containing solid food that a monk is allowed to eat until the next morning's sunrise. Next, at 1 p.m., the monks attend classes in Buddhist teaching. Some monks may stay on the temple grounds, while some monks may attend schools outside of the temple. Then, at 6 p.m., a 2-hour session of meditation and prayer begins. At 8 p.m., when the meditation and prayer ends, the monks begin their homework. Finally, at 9 o'clock p.m., the monks end their day and go to sleep, for it will not be too long until the monks awaken and start a brand new day with the same routine. Although this is the typical routine of a Thai Buddhist monk, daily monastic activities may vary from what to what. On the average, monks lead a reasonably free and unscheduled life. Other than morning alms rounds and giving sermons, there are other ways for Thai Buddhist monks to interact with the Buddhist lay devotee communities. Every year, different celebrations or events take place where lay devotees ask to have the presence of the Buddhist monks. One event is when a family may request a blessing ceremony in which Buddhist monks will go to the house and perform certain rituals and chants. There are several elements involved in a blessing ceremony: the Buddha image, thread, water vessel, water, passing the thread 3 times, and encircling. Each element represents a vital aspect of the ceremony. First, the Buddha image is the foundation or reference point in the ceremony. The thread, which is most commonly white, represents unity, connection, harmony, peace, and solidarity. The water vessel is a representation that incorporates the 4 elements of earth, water, air, and fire. The solid vessel and the wax of the candle represents the earth. The water corresponds to the water in the vessel. The water itself symbolizes life, purity, and cleansing. Air corresponds to the air that the people breathe, And lastly, the fire is represented by the flame of the candle. The passing of the thread 3 times represents the 3 refuges. And finally, the encircling of the thread forms a connection between all those present, bringing them together and joining them to the Buddha image, 3 refuges, and the Sangha. During the commencement of the blessing ceremony, a white thread is tied to or wrapped around the Buddha image, and then looped around the water vessel 3 times that is placed in front of the senior monk. Then the vessel contains a candle that is either pressed onto it or resting over the opening above the water. Next, the thread is passed to the other members of the Sangha, and then the ball of the thread is placed onto the shrine or image of the Buddha to complete the circle. Once the candle is lit, the ceremony commences when a member of the Sangha invites in the devas, which are the official figures of universal goodness, with a traditional chant. Soon, the other members of the Sangha will join in on the traditional chant. Near the end of the chant, the senior monk extinguishes the candle into the water, which has become holy. As the monk concludes his chanting, he voices a few phrases wishing goodness and happiness to the community. As the finale, he uses the extinguished candle to sprinkle the holy water over the entire assembly. Once everyone is sprinkled with the holy water, a section of the thread is cut into shorter lengths, and those who wish to keep a piece, he or she can have it tied around his or her wrist. The rest of the holy water is given to the family hosting the ceremony and is used to bless each room of the house and each family member. After the ceremony completes, the participating monks are taken back to their homes inside the temple. As it is apparent, Theravada Buddhism and Thai Buddhist monks assume a momentous role in Thailand. Despite the pessimistic opinions of Buddhism, Buddhist monks truly understand the meaning behind knowing the truth, and by utilizing that knowledge, they are able to find joy and happiness. To a non-Buddhist person, a life that is so simple is rarely described as being pleasurable. A non-Buddhist may focus on obtaining tangible items that will make he or she happy at that moment. But once that moment passes, he or she will move on in search of another object to make him or her happy. This feedback loop is represented in Buddhism by the 5 skandhas. It is the goal of Buddhists to get rid of the 5 skandhas and to escape that feedback loop. Therefore, true Buddhist monks are able to grasp this concept and free themselves from that loop. There is power in knowing the truth, and once it is understood and accepted, one is able to live a life of happiness. The country of Thailand has demonstrated this power. Thailand's power to thrive and the ability to live a life of happiness can be attributed to the Thai monks and their dedication in educating their communities. While devoting their lives to the Buddha's teachings, Thai monks tend to develop their own wisdom. Advice that was once given from one of the most famous Thai monks named Ajahn Chah taught Buddhist followers how to achieve complete peace and happiness. He said, "Do everything with a mind that lets go. Don't accept praise or gain or anything else. If you let go a little, you will have a little peace. If you let go a lot, you will have a lot of peace. If you let go completely, you will have complete peace." Thai monks do not spend endless hours on searching for things that will give them a brief moment of happiness, or spend large amounts of money on lavish clothing. Nor do they cut or dye the hair to hide the gray that signifies old age. Through the acceptance of truth, simplicity, and the ability to surpass all desires, attachment, and hindrances, one has become liberated and pure. Through liberation and purity emerges peace, happiness, and beauty. As a result, the same question is yet again proposed. What gives Thailand its beauty and its serenity? There is still no definite answer, but it is safe to assume that the beauty and peacefulness of Thailand comes from its Buddhist sculptures, Buddhist huts, Buddhist teachings, Buddhist lifestyle, Buddhist monks and devotees. In all things considered, it comes from the Buddhism in Thailand.